Hi, good morning. This is John, the kitchen idiot. It's time to make breakfast. And so one of our favorites is popovers. And I'm going to show you how I do it, some of the things I have figured out to help me succeed. I am doing some things that help me where I'm at, which is in the Midwest at Minneapolis, Minnesota. If you're on top of a mountain or you're by the ocean or in a different country next to the sea, your humidity levels, your oven, all the other things, those are variables that you're going to have to figure out with a little bit of trial and error if you've never made popovers before. But I'm going to cover the things that have worked well for me and I think might help you out. So this is where the milk is supposed to be. What I want to mention, one of the things that I've discovered, I take a little bit of water. I don't know an exact amount, and you should kind of test it. But what I do is I mix that with the milk because I was having trouble getting the popovers to pop. But I realized back when I was a kid, the successful way to do it was with skim milk, which my dad was a huge fan of, but we thought was kind of gross. So it's about a cup and a half of milk. And so if you are using whole milk, you want to thin it out a little bit with some H2O. Okay, so I grew up with the Betty Crocker recipe in my parents' cookbook. So it's actually, the recipe calls for 2 eggs, 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of flour, and like 1 teaspoon of salt. Because I have, I'm adding 50% to the recipe. I'm making it a little bit bigger, doing 3 eggs, a cup and a half of flour, a cup and a half of milk, and about the same salt, maybe a little more. So that is the ingredients. It's really simple. The lift for the popover comes from the steam generated by the milk boiling inside of it, and the moisture in the eggs goes into it. And so that's all the ingredients. So time to get these little bowls buttered up for baking. Okay, so I have my trusty circular pan, and I have this many bowls. And so what I like to do is grab a knife and I just slice up a little bit of butter for each bowl. You want to just spread it around the bowl, and the heat from your hands, unless you're a zombie, will help you spread it evenly around the bowl. And so I'm not going to show you every one of these, but the idea is if your butter is room temperature, it works better, but we always keep ours in the fridge. So anyways, just kind of smear it in there and coat the sides. Some people do just the bottoms to help the popovers climb the sides, but I've never really had a problem with these types of bowls having it pop properly, greasing up the sides of the bowls. So anyways, it would go a little quicker if the butter was a little warmer, but it's fine. Sometimes I put this in the oven just for like a minute to soften up the butter if it's really cold and my hands aren't particularly warm. So I'm going to go around and do the rest of those bowls off camera. Okay, all the dishes are buttered now. Time to do just a little bit of blending. So 450 is the heat. It used to be the old recipe would be 450 for 20 minutes, turn it down to 350 to help cook the inside, 350 at another 20 minutes. But what I do is I have found that 21 minutes works for me, and then a little bit less time at 350. A little bit less time at 350. So that's it. Nothing to do but wait for it for the next 20 minutes. Okay, this is what happens when you use a machine to mix the batter. You end up with delicious hockey pucks. They don't pop the way they're supposed to.